Hi there YouTube, John McCann here, and I'm live at IFA 2016 in Berlin with the brand new Samsung Gear S3 smartwatch, or should I say smartwatches. There's actually two new wearables from Samsung, the Gear S3 Classic and the Gear S3 Frontier. Now this video is going to take a look at the Classic, but the two are very similar. The main difference is the Frontier is a little bit more rugged in its looks, and it also has LTE connectivity. The Classic that we're looking at here is a little bit more minimalist, a little bit more premium in its design, and it doesn't have LTE, so it will require your smartphone at all times to work as a smartwatch. Let's dive in. Taking a quick look at the spec sheets for the Samsung Gear S3 Classic, and you get a 1.3-inch circular Super AMOLED display. The resolution on that is 360 by 360 pixels, giving you a pixel density of 278 ppi, and it looks pretty good on the wrist. It is nice and high def, and the watch face looks relatively convincing. You can still tell it's not a real watch, but it is a very nice rendition. It's covered by Gorilla Glass SR Plus, which should keep it nice and durable, while underneath there's a dual-core 1 GHz processor, 4 GB of internal memory and 768 MB of RAM, which should keep everything sort of ticking along nicely. In terms of the phones that you can use it with, there's good news for all Android users, assuming that your phone is Android 4.4 and above and has at least 1.5 GB of RAM, as the S3 Classic will work with most Android smartphones. You don't have to buy a Samsung phone here. Don't be fooled by that premium metal body either, because it's also IP68 water and dust resistant, which means you'll be able to take the Gear S3 Classic for a little dip in the bath or down the beach and not be too worried about sand getting in places you don't want it, at least on your smartwatch. Elsewhere on screen there's a touch interface. It runs Tizen, Samsung's own operating system. It's moving away from Google's Android Wear. It's a nice sort of operating system, not quite as many apps as Android Wear offers, but it's got a lot of going for it, and it is nice to use. The Rotary Bezel from the Gear S2 has been moved over to the Gear S3, giving you a rather different and quite fun way to control the watch by spinning the bezel around the edge and clicking on it to select stuff, and it's a different way of doing things. Is it better than your finger? Well, I'll leave that up to you to decide, but it is a very nice feeling device. For the sporty types out there, the Gear S3 Classic has GPS built in, as well as an altibarometer and a speedometer, allowing you to track everything from altitude and atmospheric pressure to sudden changes in weather, distance travelled and speed. So great if you're a skier, which is the example Samsung gave us. It might not be a main feature for a lot of people who use the watch, but it is nice to have if you are into those sort of more extreme sports. Something else you can look at the S3 Classic is its battery. 380 milliamps will probably give you a day and a half, I reckon, on a single charge, but we'll have to find that out in our full review. It is wireless charging as well, so it should be quite easy to charge, unlike sort of previous old Samsung smartwatches which needed a really clumsy cage to charge them. So it's good to see Samsung moving away from that. So there you have it, a quick look at the brand new Gear S3 Classic, the new smartwatch from Samsung, unveiled at IFA 2016. Don't forget to check out our full hands-on of the Classic and the Frontier on techradar.com. And for now, I've been John McCann. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon.